Previously on He Who Forsakes the Crown.
The remnant is missing.
I told a single soul about this.
If anything happens
in confidence.
it's your job to keep it safe.
Now it's gone.
You're traitors!
These have been posted on every door.
We, the United Rebellion, officially announce our coalition with Prince Zane de Monte.
We're going to go home. That's the plan.
You want us to gaslight an entire country?
Nothing they say can be trusted.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you.
You're really here?
I'm real.
The following story contains adult themes and depictions of violence and trauma. This podcast is not for children. Please be advised.
Now that Prince Zane has officially made his return, I'm left with more downtime than I've grown used to. I've done as much as I can to keep us intact. I can only hope that it was enough. Now I'm left to fret over what was supposed to be my main concern this entire time. The traitor. Come in.
I've been looking for you.
Oh, I wasn't expecting you. Where have you been?
I thought it'd be better to lay low for a day, so I stay in the city. Coming home with the prince might not make sense with their story.
Yeah, that was a good idea.
It was chaos at the gates.
The townsfolk have been relentless. I don't understand what they're getting out of hounding the guards. It's just more difficult to get any business done now.
They just want to feel involved. What are you doing in here?
I have a meeting in a bit.
I didn't know we were meeting.
No, private meeting.
Ah. Are you alright?
I keep getting asked that.
This is the first time I've looked at you in a while.
What, you don't like what you see? Sorry, that was a bad joke.
Yeah, you're not very funny.
I'll be fine. I just need a nap. And a bath. Probably.
Right.
Do you need something?
No, just making the rounds, I guess. But you're busy, so I'll go. I hope your meeting goes well.
Thank you. I do too.
You wanted to see me?
Yes, I wanted to talk to you. Just take a seat.
All right, if you say so. Is something wrong?
Leah, we've worked together for a long time now.
6 years.
Right. I don't know how to go about this, so I'm going to be upfront. The Golden Remnant was taken from my room.
What? When?
A few days ago.
And you haven't said anything? This is a big deal. The prince is going to be furious. I can't believe they just break into your room.
They didn't break into my room. They used the door.
They used the door? They just walked in?
They used the key.
Your key?
No.
Well, they didn't use mine.
Are you sure?
What do you mean by that?
Leah, you are the only person that knew it was in my room.
You think I had something to do with it?
It's the most logical explanation.
You knew the rebellion was after it. Anyone could have taken it. You know, Captain, if I thought you were hiding something, I'd probably look in your room.
You're upset.
Obviously, I'm upset. What are you accusing me of?
I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm only telling you.
You're telling me and asking for an explanation.
They didn't use the window. They didn't pick the lock. I gave you the key and told you exactly where it was.
Yeah, I just decided to waltz in, grab it on my lunch break. That'd be a really convincing way to keep my cover. You know, because I'm a traitorous rebel scumbag.
I didn't say that.
Why else would you corner me like this?
I am not cornering you. I am open to any explanation. If you lost my key, just say that.
That's a good idea. I'll tell some more lies, and you can catch me burying myself into a hole. I didn't lose your key, Sayoko.
Then how did they get into my room?
How should I know?
The rebellion has a golden remnant already. They wouldn't come back looking for another.
You said yourself that one was fake. They probably figured that out.
So quickly?
Again, how should I know?
Stop yelling!
No! I've dedicated years to this castle.
Leah, we all have.
I've dedicated years to you. And you think I'd betray you?
I don't want to believe it. But nothing else makes sense right now.
I'm the one who told you there was a spy in the first place.
I was going to find out either way. You become much less suspicious if you're the one who mentions it.
Is that your reasoning? I told you there was a spy, so it must be me covering my tracks. You give me a key to your room, so it must have been used to steal your stone.
I can't let bias get in the way of things. I vetted everyone. This is the one path actually going someplace.
You gave the others a crystal that went missing.
A crystal you knew about. Kuro told you.
It's my fault that Kuro can't keep his mouth shut.
And I told you it was fake. You're the only person who knows about that.
I am not. Catalina was the one spewing that nonsense before you banished her.
She knows I wouldn't have sent her out looking for it if it wasn't important.
But you did. You sent her on a wild goose chase for a fate. Do you think she just believed you? She's a magician. It's not like she could argue with you about it. She's probably out there knowing that you did that to her on purpose, having to look for a stupid piece of glass anyways.
You still haven't given me an explanation. It's not like they ransacked my room. They knew exactly where it was. They didn't touch a single thing they didn't need. How does that make sense?
If it were me, I would have ransacked your room. What? It's the truth. If I were a traitor and I was given the perfect opportunity to steal something I wanted, I wouldn't use anything given to me. In fact, before I'd ransack your room, I'd go for somebody else's, probably my own. Then I'd shatter your window, throw all your shit on the ground, break a few things. Then I'd take your rock. Actually, the very fact the theft happened so carefully feels convenient. Like somebody wants to blame this on me.
That's your big conclusion? You're being set up?
You really don't believe me?
I want to. I really do. I just don't know.
Because I'm so capable of deception, I've welcomed you into my life. I've told you everything about me. I've let you meet my family, and you thought I'd throw that all away for some shitty cause with no direction. You think I'd put everything at stake to honor some egotistical maniac with a savior complex? And you locked the door because you thought I'd run when caught? Well, I didn't. So if you're going to arrest me, just do it.
No. I didn't want this.
Well, this is what you got.
You didn't tell anyone? You didn't tell Kuro?
Of course I didn't. Gods!
I want to believe you. But it doesn't make sense.
Then what should I do?
If you truly believe you're being set up, you need to figure out who's doing it.
Fine. I will. Then let me out.
Right.
What? Oh, right. You're still thinking I'll run away at the first chance I'm given. Fine. Take my remnant then. You obviously care more about a rock than you ever did I.
Hey there, you are listening to episode 35 of He Who Forsakes the Crown. I'm running out of things to say here, guys. Thank you for joining us. I know this episode is a little on the shorter side. I'm pretty sure the last episode is like our longest episode. Again, I haven't made it yet, so I don't know, but it was 76 pages when I wrote it. I really don't have anything new to share with you guys, so it's the usual. If you're enjoying the show, please follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Chapter 15 Studios. For Twitter, it's CH15 Studios because of the character limit. If you're enjoying the show, share it with your friends. Leave us a review. Again, Spotify has comments now. Those are so cool. I love reading them. Apparently, episode 31 was not on Spotify for a bit. I do not know what happened there. Probably when I was changing the titles of all the episodes, maybe I deleted it or something. If you missed out on that for some reason, which is crazy, keep in mind, because that was like an important one. It is up, so you can go listen to that. Right now, episodes are still projected to come out on time. I'm going to tell you now, I don't think the finale episode is going to come out on the 4th of that month. I'm assuming a little earlier, just because I don't want it to come out on a random Tuesday. It feels weird. I do have to say, I may have come up with a little health condition, and I may have developed a tiny smidge of early carpal tunnel syndrome. And although I am hoping that it does not impact the production of this show, I am doing everything I can to handle it. But I'm letting you know now just in case the worst happens. But I'm really not anticipating it. And that's all I have to say this time around. Thank you so much for your love, your appreciation, for being here. We're almost done. Let's make this finale a good one. And I see you next month. Bye-bye.
There are eyes everywhere. My father's men are crawling about, like bugs, waiting, talking. In those weeks I spent locked in a room, so much has changed. I don't want to adjust poorly, but I can't help but feel like pieces are still missing.
You don't know how happy I am to see you, cousin. I was terrified that you wouldn't make it.
Thank you, Vincent.
I'm glad to see you well, Zane.
Well is an overstatement. I've been confined to the cane.
Uh-huh. So, what excuse did you end up making for it?
I fell off my horse. The princess couldn't make it?
I'm afraid not. Things aren't going well at home. She can't move as freely as I.
Because of my father?
Something of the sort.
I haven't had much idea what might be going on elsewhere. The captain wouldn't let me read the news.
She sure runs a tight ship.
She's left me blindsided.
Well, I hope you're not too critical of her, Your Highness. She's been under a great deal of stress lately.
Aren't we all? I suspect the conditions of the marriage are the same. Considering the arrival of my father's court, I'm sure he won't be long after.
You truly haven't heard a thing.
What?
The conditions have changed quite drastically. Zane, my parents discovered that your guards infiltrated Ume Palace. They were furious.
They didn't know?
Apparently Koharu hadn't mentioned it. But resulting injuries in the battle led to some early retirements and many complaints. My mother believed King Zareth had ulterior motives, that he was distracting them from some upcoming attack. And then Zareth found out what your guards were after.
Oh no.
He was surprisingly defensive of you. Finding out that my sister was harboring foreign men, he believed it was sinful and demanded that she stop seeing them.
That's very rich coming from him.
Marriage proceedings have been halted.
Well, not completely.
No, of course not. Both parties are trying to come to a compromise, but it has been very difficult. It isn't helping that my sister is refusing to comply.
So, my father isn't returning?
He shouldn't be. And if he is, it won't be with Koharu.
How long is this expected to go on?
I couldn't tell you. They're both making it very difficult. I bet it goes beyond the year.
By the gods.
They haven't caught wind of what's going on here?
What do you mean?
You haven't seen? They're posted all over town.
My goodness. You've certainly a lot on your plate then. This is the first I've seen of it, so it's unlikely the news has made its way home.
That's a relief.
Perhaps if Koharu saw the statement, she wouldn't be interested anymore?
I doubt it. She never falls back from a challenge. But Zane, I can't believe your guards would continue with the infiltration after it all.
Infiltration? What do you mean?
My sister threw a fit when she realized he was gone. Then she started going on about you being jealous, which only dug us into a deeper hole.
Are you speaking of...
Elliot. Ume Palace was broken into once more. He's been gone for weeks now. Your guards took him, did they not?
Could he have escaped on his own?
Cousin, you're saying he isn't here?
I never sent anyone for him.
So he's missing.
Aspen.
Koharu thinks that you took him, so she never removed the spell. He wouldn't have left on his own. So, if you didn't take him...
Someone else did. Elliot is missing. After the efforts made to find him, even subjecting Kuro to Kilaharan torture, my work was futile. He's gone. And nobody has a clue to where he'd be. I don't know where he'd even go if he were on his own. Surely not here. And why would anybody else be concerned with taking him? He's just a man. Could it have been Father? Perhaps he was really upset they'd taken a DuPont citizen captive, and he took matters into his own hands. But it doesn't seem like him. Maybe people really are capable of changing. I don't know how I'll tell Rillianne. I'd have to admit that I've been lying to her this entire time. If I can get past these rebellion accusations without causing any problems, it can all die down. We can go back to normal. Shh! What are you doing here?
Well, I haven't gotten to talk to you in days, so I thought I could come in here when nobody was around and wait for you to get back. But then it got really late, and I wanted to leave, but someone was patrolling outside, so I'm trapped. You're making fun of me?
I might be. I missed you.
I thought about you every day I was gone. There was so much I wanted to tell you, but when I saw you, my mind went blank.
It's been a lot.
And now that we're back, I can't even look at you in public.
Only until it dies down.
I'm sorry.
Why?
It's my fault this is happening.
What? Of course it isn't.
No, you think I'm just saying that out of guilt. All of this is my fault. Wolfsbane, he...
It's okay. Sit down. We have time.
Wolfsbane kept visiting me during the survey, and he told me that if I said anything, he'd expose your fall and he'd expose us if I didn't comply.
Comply?
He really didn't make me do much, except there was this thing in Arendelle, but that was my fault. I got too emotional and...
Did he hurt you?
Oh, God, no. He wanted me to join them, the rebellion, and after I refused, they sent the papers. You're angry.
No, I'm not. Never. You did the right thing.
I did?
Rillianne, who knows what he would have done if you had gone with him?
But I'm just one person. Now everyone thinks you're a traitor. If your father...
He isn't here. I would have never forgiven myself had you gone.
I thought he'd drag me away.
But he didn't. This was their plan all along. Don't let him manipulate you.
That I can only convince myself. Where were you?
In a meeting.
So late?
It was a different kind of meeting.
Tell me about it.
Well, we only meet late because we can't be seen together in public.
Sounds familiar.
They're other royals, from nearby kingdoms.
Like Vincent.
Exactly. Vincent was there. The others are heirs of Kilahara. They're westward, across the sea. It's where my father has been staying.
Why meet in secret?
My father has been trying to arrange a marriage between me and the future queen of Kilahara. But we've been working on stopping it.
Oh.
Obviously, I don't want to marry her.
But it is a possibility.
No, it's not.
How can you be so sure?
I'm going to make sure it doesn't happen.
Would your father allow that?
It doesn't matter.
It does. If you have to marry her.
I'm not going to let it happen.
Zane, please don't pick a fight for my sake. I understand what loving you entails. If doing this is going to keep your father from coming after you, I want you to do what keeps you safe, not what protects my feelings.
I wish she would get angry. Continuously, my circumstances worsen her situation, but she's always done her best to grace them with a smile, to pity me, rather than resent me. You don't really mean that.
Of course I don't want to see you with another woman. But I want you in my life, within arm's reach.
I can't trouble her with the news of Elliot now. It isn't fair. Then stay with me.
Don't I have to get going?
The guards change shift at 5. You can leave then.
If you say so. Here, let me.
You know, when I was a child, I could not, for the life of me, figure out how to tie my shoes.
Weren't you a prodigy?
Not of shoe tying. My father taught me how, actually. He thought I was too old to be asking the maids for help.
How old were you?
Around 8, I think.
Now you're a little old. Do you want children?
Where did that come from?
I don't know, I'm just curious.
I have to have children, eventually, for the crown.
But do you want them?
I like kids. They're funny. They don't judge based on the status quo. But I wouldn't be a good father.
How can you say that?
I don't think I know what a good father is.
I think you could learn. There isn't really a definition. You just have to be there. Be patient. Listen.
I'm not patient.
You'll grow. That's one of the best things about being alive. You change.
You should get some rest.
I shouldn't. I need to leave.
I'll wake you up. I promise.
Zane?
Hmm?
I love you.
I love you too. I'm so glad I get to know you.
I'm still sleepy.
Then sleep. Have good dreams.
I will. I'm sure of it. Things will be okay, Zane. It'll all go back to normal with time.
Normal. Right. Normal is where we still have to live in secret, hiding at night, speaking in formalities, where her brother is missing, where I'll cave to the demands of that contract as long as my father lives, where I'll never move forward. Argus.
What?
Do you regret it?
Regret what?
Being Minervia.
So you remember.
I didn't know when to mention it.
I loved being Minervia.
But had you never formed her, you could have stayed with Enyo.
I love Enyo. With all that I am. Every moment I think of her.
So you do.
But I don't think I would have understood love without Minervia. Not in the way I do now. Others can only expand our capacity for love. You see it now, don't you?
Yes.
That girl has reminded me of Enyo since the day you met her. It's strange.
Is there any reason?
I doubt it. There are pieces of Enyo within all of her followers. It's the way she goes on.
I'm sorry.
It doesn't matter. I've said it before. Time will bring us back together.
That doesn't make the wait any less painful, does it?
I haven't seen Enyo in 582 years.
And?
I'd wait tenfold, as long as I'm promised a moment with her again.
He Who Forsakes the Crown is an audio drama written and produced by Chapter 15 Studios. This month featuring the vocal talents of Chara Lynn, Eric Smith, Julia Orsborn, Dante Majors, Castiel Michi, Hexglaive VA, Michael Naiman, Deshaun Ricks, and Ranger H. Fox. Thank you for tuning in to this month's episode of He Who Forsakes the Crown. Tune in next time on October 4th.